Welcome to Wednesday night ESPN college basketball in the Big 12 from the Lloyd Noble Center, Norman, Oklahoma. The 20th ranked Oklahoma Sooners hosting the Kansas State Wildcats. Well, just 4 days ago on Saturday, both the Wildcats and Sooners picked up last-second wins. K-State's Barry Brown, it's a game-winning layup with 4 seconds left for the win at Iowa State, 58-57, a game-high 23 for Brown. Same day, OU's Christian Doolittle with less than 3 seconds left, the game winner to lift the Sooners over number 25 TCU, 76-74. Great to have you with us on this Wednesday night from Norman, along with former Duke assistant coach and Army guard Chris Spatola. I'm Mark Neely. In that game Saturday, Chris, for Kansas State, Dean Wade returns after missing 6 games with a foot injury. What can we expect in game 2 back for Dean?
Well, when he's healthy, he's their best all-around player. He takes them to a much higher level because he's a matchup nightmare. He does a lot of different things. He can score it. Didn't score it well the other night. Only had 1 bucket, but had 9 rebounds. He's really a tough matchup for Oklahoma here tonight and a lot of teams in this conference.
Christian James for Oklahoma right now top 4 in the Big 12 in both points and rebounds.
Hasn't shot it well of late, but he is a stat stuffer. Over 16 a game, like you said. He's a monster on the glass, has expanded his game. Another really tough matchup.
John Higgins puts the ball in the air, and it's Kansas State wearing the black that has the game's first possession tonight. Both teams come in at 2-2 in conference play. Mayween. There's Dean Wade. Cut off in the lane by Calixte, shoots over and puts in the game's first points. He's already matched his point total from game 1 at Iowa State.
Oklahoma does a lot of switching, and you're going to end up switching on to Dean Wade. There, Calixte, undersized relative to the 6'10 Wade, who just shot it right over him.
Barry Brown knocked it out of the hands of Jamoni McNeese, creating the turnover. They get it to Wade. You kind of get the feeling they want to get Wade going offensively early. He already has the game's first bucket. Tries to make it 2, and off the left iron, no good.
And he was a little hesitant in that game coming back. He actually had looks, passed up on some. Didn't look like he was comfortable shooting it from the perimeter, which he can do. But like you said, force-feeding him early here.
Wade only attempted 5 shots in that game, hit 1, which came at a very key spot in the win at Iowa State with the left hand. McNeese too strong.
I think Bruce Weber would tell you that the thing he did do is you have to guard him. You know, whether you think he's going to make a shot or not, he's capable of it. And so it opens things up for guys like Barry Brown, Cam Stokes.
You know, by the way, Wade did have a game-high 9 rebounds as well in Apes.
Oh, by the way.
Down to 5 on the shot clock. Mayween going to have to do something with it. Long jumper, got it.
And clearly the scouting report says they're okay living with Mayween taking that 15-foot shot. You know, defense has been the calling card for both these teams. Top 10 in adjusted defense. They have won games this year because of how good they are on that defensive side.
Season 7 for Bruce Weber. He's got a pretty good record against OU, 8-4. 2-4 record away from Manhattan against them. His team, let's face it, they lost their first 2 conference games and they were down 21 points to West Virginia. They were staring 0-3 in the face in a trip to Ames. They're kind of back from the dead here early in conference play.
Well, they were staring 0-4 in the face until Barry Brown hits a magnificent shot to beat Iowa State. So, I mean, that's the margin. Winning and losing is they could very easily be 0-4.
Brown with the bucket. He's this week's Big 12 Player of the Week. First time in his career he has earned that honor, which kind of surprised a lot of us that have been around the conference for so many years that was his first. Christian James powering his way, but he traveled.
He can really score, and he's gotten back to driving the basketball. And they are just not well defended. A little miscommunication.
Oklahoma is going to use a timeout, and we'll step aside and be back in 30 seconds. Kansas State's hit 3 of their first 4 shots tonight. Oklahoma's missed their first two, and it's the Wildcats out to the early 6-0 lead. K-State's a team that can certainly go through some offensive droughts. And there have been a number of games where they've fallen behind big early. They look to avoid that tonight here in Norman.
And Barry Brown has been on a tear. He's got 52 points in their last two games. And I said he's gotten back to driving the ball. 18 of those 52 points have come on dunks or layups.
See the numbers nationally. Keep in mind there's 351 Division I teams. A lot of numbers in the 300s there offensively for K-State. May Wade to spin, move into a double team, but a nice bounce pass down low, and Wade has 4 points.
Oklahoma not talking in the early going here. Rotations have come late, and K-State doing a nice job taking advantage.
Calixte knocks it home for the first bucket of the night for the Sooners. Guy who's a grad transfer from Maine, Aaron Calixte. A little push underneath on Freeman.
The Sooner foul is called on Pat Freeman, his first.
And Lon Kruger facing his alma mater. 8th season as the Oklahoma head coach. It's a much different offensive team this year without Trae Young. I'm not saying it's good or bad, but it's been a more efficient offense this year.
Well, they have flipped the script. That's what the kids say, Mark, in a lot of ways. I mean, they are significantly older, one of the youngest teams in the country last year. Now they're one of the oldest. They were an offensive juggernaut at times last year. Couldn't guard anybody, and now they are much better defensively, one of the top 10 teams in the country there, and at times have struggled on the offensive end.
Yeah, the scoring numbers nationally way down, but the defense, which is really what Lon Kruger hangs his hat on, is the defense. So they're playing much more of a Lon Kruger style, so to speak, again.
They're grittier, they're tougher, there's a defensive character that they've been able to lean on, and I agree with you. Like that is much more a team that Lon Kruger is comfortable coaching.
Sooners have turned it over 3 times on their 6th possession, so to begin the game. That's a 3 from Cam Stokes. A long rebound tipped by James to the baseline where it's grabbed by K-State Xavier Sneed. Back to Brown. Stokes with Freeman at his face. Nice bounce pass. Wade with the left hand. It couldn't fall over that front rim. Point blank attempt there for Wade. And the other way, Calixte, who hit a long jumper earlier. A 3 misses that one. And James thought he had the offensive rebound. But out with it comes Cam Stokes. Pass underneath that actually hit the net. And it's passed by Sneed to May Wade, who misses the jumper. And Sneed the offensive rebound.
K-State playing with energy. You know, one of the words that Bruce Weber used a ton in his shoot-around, said he was going to write it on the board, was emotion. They are energized to start this game.
Ahead for James. Tried to reverse lay-in, missed it. Back comes Kansas State. Brown sealed off there by Calixte. Well, definitely a little more pep in the step of K-State right now. And a nice up and under move getting by Freeman, and Wade has 6 points to begin tonight.
I'm telling you, when he gets back into game shape, he gets his legs under him. He is one of the toughest matchups in America. They posted him. He can hit that face-up shot, and the ceiling for this Kansas State team grows exponentially.
Freeman stopped there looking for a 3-second call, and they got it. Timeout. Well, here in Norman, Oklahoma, news from the gridiron is always front and center, and some big stuff came down today. Back with that after this.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball.
Well, the last 2 Heisman winners have played quarterback at Oklahoma. Jalen Hurts announcing today he's transferred from Alabama here to Norman and will play next year for the Sooners. That was a bombshell that dropped here in Norman when we were at the shoot-around today, and the town's buzzing about it.
How about the the pair on Jalen Hurts to say, I'm okay following 2 Heisman Trophy winners. I mean, really,
Yes.
to me, I think it's the Lincoln Riley effect. I mean, you and I were talking about this earlier today. Like,
That, by the way, is Roy Williams, former DB great here at Oklahoma.
I think quarterbacks want to come play for Lincoln Riley.
So is Kyler Murray going to play baseball or football?
It's looking like football. I'll tell you, that is a bad look for baseball. To not be able to get that guy who would instantly be one of the 5 most recognizable baseball players that they would have, that's a bad loss for them.
Here's your $4 million back. I'm going to go play football. That's
a bad look for Major League Baseball, I'm telling you.
Oklahoma ball. Right now, the Sooners just trying to take better care of the ball. They've turned it over 5 times. They're not off to a good shooting start, just 1 of 5 from the field, and a 7-point deficit here. And Jamal Bieniemy now in the game, along with Miles Reynolds. Here's Reynolds getting in the lane, flips it up after some contact, and that's an offensive foul as Mike McGurl taking the charge for the Wildcats. Miles Reynolds had been a starter for Lon Kruger, but with the return from injury of Jimani McNeese, that has put Miles Reynolds back to coming off the bench as he does so again tonight.
And they were, and that's a change. I mean, that's kind of one of those adjustments that Oklahoma's had to make with their lineup. They feel like they are a much better team once they get McNeese back to the guy he was before he got hurt.
Cartier Jada. Late shot clock, McGurl, 3, down to 2. Off in time from Stokes, swish. Cam Stokes, and it's a 10-point lead for K-State.
They are very deliberate offensively. They're going to work to get the shot they want, and they're going to grind you down on that end. And it actually helps their defense. The defense is helped if you play good offense.
Odoms gets it to crawl over the rim, and 1 for senior Rashard Odoms.
What a strong drive. You mentioned a senior. He's not a shooter. He's only attempted 6 threes on the year. That's what he does. And look at that body.
Only played 8 minutes on Saturday in the win over TCU. Only picked up 1 point. Did not attempt a field goal. A guy who was born in Anchorage, Alaska. Can't finish off the 3-point play. It stays 13-5 K-State. Levi Stockard off the right side. Caroms towards the sideline, and it's last touched by K-State. I believe it was Austin Price who touched it last for the Wildcats.
One of the other reasons these teams are so good on the defensive end is they're outstanding defensive rebounding teams. So they're typically only having to guard for 1 shot. K-State's been active, though, on the offensive glass, keeping things alive.
Pull-up jumper there for Miles Reynolds. We talked about Reynolds, grad transfer from Maine, Chicago native. Had been a starter, really one of their vocal leaders to begin the year.
It's an amazing story. It's his 3rd school in 4 years.
It started at St. Louis U. Stockard underneath. Foul on the floor. Timeout. It's been a good start for K-State on the road. They're up 6 with under 12 minutes to play first half.
A star-studded Saturday full of NBA, college hoops, and UFC on ESPN, ESPN Plus, and ABC.
Yeah, we're still 3 days from Saturday, but playing on a big one, beginning with the Thunder Sixers on ABC. That Virginia-Duke game is going to be great. Lakers-Rockets, and then you got Cahetto against Dillashaw finishing things off. I got the messenger, by the way, in that one, which is Cahetto.
Your UFC knowledge always astounds. It always astounds. I saw you on the Ken Palm site for UFC today. You checking the analytics.
It's all about the analytics these days in whatever sport. Maywayne back in. Tough shot at a double team. Didn't find the rim. And Manek deflects it to Christian Doolittle. Sooners haven't really found an offensive flow yet here tonight.
No, they haven't, and they have 6 turnovers, which hasn't helped. And they've had to guard on the other end, which I think has affected their defense.
Tough shot, Reynolds a miss. Doolittle underneath. Bouncing out of bounds, and it's saved by Jada. And coming the other way, Barry Brown drives and scores.
K-State just putting a lot of pressure. They're being opportunistic again. I think they're deliberate offensively. There they take advantage of the open floor, and I think it's affected Oklahoma and how it's running its offense. They've had to grind so much on the defensive end. And just a broken play, and then Barry Brown first to the ball, and he gets the step on Manick. And the defensive balance not great for Oklahoma.
7 turnovers already here in the first half for Oklahoma. They had 9 total turnovers in their win over TCU. Right now, Lon Kruger's team trying to figure out Kansas State. They ballooned it back up to a 10-point lead as Mayween has 4 points.
And they're all layups. Kansas State just living right at the basket.
Odoms, foul going to the rim. By the way, Jamoni McNeese on the bench with 2 fouls for Oklahoma. Some early foul trouble for him. McNeese, who recently come back from an injury of his own. Hurt an ankle, sprained his ankle in practice in early December. Certainly isn't 100%. That's quite an athlete on the floor for McNeese when he gets out there. He can bring you the exciting, and sometimes he can show his inexperience, but he's definitely a player OU wants on the floor. And some issues at the line to start the game as well.
Turnovers and missed free throws. And then defensive lapses. A lot of this crossing stuff right here, this motion, and then you're getting the roll by the big guy.
McGurl swishes a 3, and Kansas State up 13 midway through the first half.
One of their games last week, Bruce Weber wrote on the board, start fast. They have not started games well. Against West Virginia, Texas Tech, in both games, they got down 17-3 to start those games.
Perhaps a turning point is halftime of the West Virginia game when Barry Brown basically challenged his team and said, hey, if you're not going to go out there and try to win, don't even come out of the locker room. And his team responded with their largest comeback in school history. Sneed. Just a little off with that 3. Screen set by Doolittle. James faces up on McGurl. Odoms, one dribble, goes up and scores. And really, Rashard Odoms and Miles Reynolds have been their best offense so far tonight.
It's a team that's been hit or miss offensively. James, their leading scorer, has really struggled in the last 4 games. So they're searching for that guy to step forward.
Pass for Mayween. He's fortunate to come away with it, and he shoots the 15-footer. Calixte, cross court, open 3, James, and he's short with it. And the issues continue for Christian James, who hasn't shot from range well here in the last 4 or 5 games.
And he's starting to press, I think. I mean, he's got to get some stuff going to the basket, get himself to the foul line. The numbers there are stark. And, 3-point shooting, not what he is. He has become a more efficient shooter from there, but it's not what he is and what he does. And I think it's starting to affect his mindset. He's pressing.
He had 15 points in the win Saturday against TCU, but missed all 4 of his 3-point attempts. Stokes lost it out of bounds. A rare Kansas State turnover, just their second. Manick. The sophomore Manick certainly has the range. Pass in the lane. Odom's again.
You know, they got some movement. The ball moved. They moved bodies. There wasn't as much standing. You've got to make Kansas State work on the defensive end.
And a foul stops the clock. 7-point lead for K-State. Well, Brady Manick, the sophomore for Oklahoma. Some similarities to the great Larry Bird. Beyond the bucket with my partner coming back.
Here with Brady Manick. Brady, most icons are always reassessing their image, changing up their look. You had a buzz cut last year. You've come back with a different look. A lot of folks comparing it to Larry Bird, a legend. What do you make of this? We got it up on the screen here. What do you make of the side-by-side there?
I mean, it kind of looks like me. Probably a long time ago, back in the golden days. But I mean, that's pretty close.
It's not even just the stash and the luscious locks. Like, you guys, take a look at this photo. You guys, a lot like body language too on the court. You guys are very look at that flow you have going to that.
That is incredible. I haven't seen that one yet. I saw one close, but now that is some hair right there.
Larry Legend had a great career at Indiana State. What do you hope to make out of your career here at Oklahoma?
Well, those numbers are a little different, but I hope to pick mine up some and help the team out any way I can.
All right, I love it. Thanks for doing this. Yeah.
Well, the dry sense of humor of Brady Manick, I think, shines through there. Yeah, the numbers are different. Larry Bird was Larry Bird. Here's Wade underneath.
Well, those numbers were a little different.
30 compared to 10, but and you did use the term luscious locks.
Well,
Stokes.
You know, it's not my first time around good hair, you know, or a salon. He was a good sport for doing that. He's become a better player. You know, I think he kind of took a dive last year. He got sick at one point, lost a lot of weight. He put on 20 pounds in the offseason. He's a much better rebounder this year.
Wide open three, missed by Sean Neal-Williams. A travel committed by Oklahoma. Calixte as they turn it over for a 9th time here in the first half. A dispute there from Coach Kruger and the Sooners on the call from John Higgins. Manick last year, the buzz cut. And the freshman, and now this year. You can't deny the similarities physically with Larry Bird.
That's a strong choice, though. That photo on the left to the right, I mean, that is a real change to an image right there.
That looks like a different guy. Oklahoma's on a 6-0 run here to cut into a 13-point deficit, and Richard, who had not missed his first 3 from the field, misses on shot number 4 of the night. Snead. Brown from 18. Rattles home.
You know he's feeling it too. He had Wade on the throwback, which I think as you get more and more used to Wade being on the floor, that probably comes back to him. But what a tough shot by Barry Brown, who was feeling it of late.
Barry Brown making his 100th career start tonight for Kansas State and his 122nd career appearance for him.
Tough shot. Here's that handoff, and Wade is wide open there, top of the key. Brown says, no, I got this. Right in the face of the defender. And this team, I'm telling you, this team, you know, goes to the Elite Eight last year, brings back basically everybody, and they've got that potential again. Now that they're starting to get healthy, Brown is starting to become more of an offensive attacker.
Call that on Freeman. New Zealand native picks up his second. Kansas State with that Elite Eight run last year. Really did that Elite Eight run without Dean Wade, who got hurt in the Big 12 tournament. But they returned just about all their production from a year ago. 93%. Their scoring, assists.
Well, the thing about their group is they look. Wade is a good player. Brown are good players. They can, to some extent, get their own shots. But this team, they need each other to score and win, and they know that. And I think when you bring back an older group, and older groups are typically more secure in who they are, they're willing to give up a good shot to get a better one. I think that's who this Kansas State team is starting to become.
Dean Wade with 8 points in his 9 minutes played. Doolittle with his first bucket tonight for the Sooners. And there's a guy, Christian Doolittle, whose trajectory is rising fast as a scorer, as a leader on a lot of different levels for the Sooners this year. Five minutes to play first half. Half that K-State has led from the get-go, and Stokes well off the right side with a three, deflected out the enemy now. The enemy dribbles into the lane quickly and fouled trying to get to the rim.
Well, that's what Miles Reynolds does. I mean, he just pushes and has given them an explosive handler in the open floor, and he's very good at getting himself to the foul line by pushing early. So Oklahoma, as good as they've been defensively, can really, really score in transition.
Coming up Saturday, another big SEC-ACC doubleheader on ESPN. It starts at 4 Eastern, number 12 Kentucky, number 14 Auburn. Then Zion Williamson, number 1 Duke, look to bounce back from Monday's loss to Syracuse as they host number 4 and undefeated Virginia at Cameron Indoor in a Sonic blockbuster. You can see that on the app as well. They stayed up by 8. They have led by as many as 13. Mayween looking, now hands off to Brown. James chased Brown all the way to midcourt, and quick hands creates a steal. Back to James. Who finishes over Snead. Tough for Christian James. That gets James on the board with his first bucket. And a little run here for Oklahoma has pulled them within 6. 4:09 to play, first half from here in Norman. K-State, OU. Chris, thanks. You know, Dallin and Sean, you took the words out of our mouth because we were talking about how really OU seems fortunate to only be down 6 points right now.
Yeah, I mean, we're 10 turnovers and only down 6 in a low possession half. You got to feel pretty good about yourself. And I think some of this run has been scoring some layups. They've had trouble in the half court. Credit Kansas State's defense.
Shot clock violation. Well, the comments from Scottie Pippen about Zion Williamson today, basically saying he thinks Zion's done enough for college basketball and that he should shut it down, stop playing, and wait for the NBA draft. And certainly Scottie's entitled to his opinion, one of the all-time greats, but those of us who are around college basketball would hate to see that.
Well, he's entitled to his opinion. That opinion happens to be ludicrous. I mean, all the things that Scottie said about Zion are true, but that doesn't mean that he should shut it down as a result of those things. I mean, they have a chance to win a national championship. He has a chance to continue to get better as a player. I mean, that type of an opinion is it's uninformed, to be quite frank.
I think if we got a hold of actor-rapper Ludacris himself, he would think it's ludicrous. In and out. So they say,
can you do that? Can you get in touch with Ludacris?
I thought I have Ludacris on his number on my cell. I thought you would. Zion and RJ predicted right now to go 1-2 in the draft. That would just be a horrible precedent for college basketball, would it not? If he took up that advice?
It'd be a horrible precedent for Zion Williams.
Yeah, agreed. 3, Doolittle. Too strong. Snead pulls down the rebound. So under 3 minutes to play, first half. K-State has led throughout by as many as 13. Brown with 6 to shoot. A long 2. Man, nothing but net.
Tough shots, and he's always surveying, and then he gets to that spot, and he really is feeling it. Those are not shots he was making early in the year.
Reynolds almost stripped by Jada. Freeman launches. Almost got that to fall in. Here's Snead, crashes into Freeman, and the foul on Freeman, his third. Barry Brown's hit 4 of his 5 field goal attempts tonight.
Coming off a big-time week, the Big 12 Player of the Week, and another ball screen, and they have not been guarded well in this half by Oklahoma. You try to switch it there, and it's just too slow. Freeman can't get out there, and Brown leans back a little to get over Freeman's reach. But again, those are tough shots that he wasn't necessarily hitting consistently early in the year. But starting to feel his own, and I think having Dean Wade back, having Cam Stokes back in the lineup has really given him more space to operate.
Second free throw coming for Xavier Snead. For 2 points for Snead. He had 3 points in 34 minutes Saturday at Iowa State, but he had the defensive responsibility on Mariel Shayok. He did a nice job of shutting down the Big 12's leading scorer. Skipped into the corner and a 3, Calixte.
It's a big shot because Kansas State really shrinking the floor, so Wade came all the way over on the help side, and if Calixte can hit that on the weak side, you start to stretch the defense a little bit.
Brown, in and out. The season low for first half points for Oklahoma is 25. That came in their game at Kansas. Off the right side for Maddock, offensive rebound. Odom's wanting to go back up, trying to dump it down low to Doolittle, gets it back. Going out of bounds, and remaining with OU.
One of the things Kansas State does, they really shrink the floor, which means bringing the help side over. Dean Wade was in the middle of the lane, the skip pass to Calixte, and he buries it. And that's where you talk about stretching the floor. You knock down those shots, it opens up that lane a little bit.
Calixte's pass too high for Doolittle.
Turnovers killing Oklahoma.
At double-digit turnovers, 11 in the first half. Here's Wade. Fighting his way through and scoring.
Sometimes offense, it just is better than good defense, and that was well defended. Shows you how skilled and talented Dean Wade is.
And 10 first half points for Wade. Oklahoma holding it for the final shot. 3, Christian James. So it's a season low for points in the first half for Oklahoma, but they were down by 13 and are down by 6. So again, the halftime score, K-State leading it over OU 30-24. Let's head to the studio for the E-Trade halftime report with Chris Cotter, Dallin Cuff, and Sean Farnham. Fellas. About ready to start the second half in Norman. 20th ranked OU turned it over 11 times in the first half. We're down by as many as 13. They are down just 6, 30-24. Great to have you with us on this Wednesday night from Norman, along with Chris Patola. I'm Mark Neely. Oh, you're really fortunate to only be down 6, but if you're K-State, you got to feel good about the 18 combined points you got from Dean Wade and Barry Brown.
They were spectacular. Yeah, the two of them. Barry Brown especially got them going. He had 2 game winners last week. So what does any good marketing department do? They put him with goats. Hello, goats. I hope he checked his shoes after that. Tonight, he's been spectacular, though. Attacking the basket, hit some nice stuff from the mid-range, and then Dean Wade is back. They went to him early. He was super aggressive, hit some tough shots around the basket, using that 6'10 frame. The ceiling is the roof for K-State now that they've got Dean Wade back in the fold.
So 18 combined in the first half for Wade and Brown, and the 11 OU turnovers. And K-State has the ball to begin half 2. Catch and shoot long 2 good for Xavier Sneed.
And what a good set coming out of halftime. Good execution, a nice little flex set. You get Xavier Sneed a shot. It's always nice for coaches. The play they draw up on the board at halftime actually works.
James turns, shoots, and scores. 7 points for James. Barry Brown, 4 of 6 in that first half, including 3 shots that were, let's just say, a high degree of difficulty. Wade thinking with 4 on the clock. From 15, it rolls off. Wayne had the rebound, but a foul underneath against Oklahoma.
That set right there is an example of Wade's impact, though. They're running a lot of ball screens with Brown and Wade, and you have to make a choice. I mean, he's going to pick and pop, and then he's got the ability to get to a spot and pull up.
From the baseline. If you're a K-State fan, you gotta be very happy with what you've seen from Dean Wade so far tonight. He looks like the old Dean Wade.
What a talented player. Did not get a scholarship offer from Kansas.
Well, Brady Manick attempted only 1 shot in the first half. That was a missed 3. He made no doubt about that 3-point attempt.
And he's a guy who can shoot it. Came out like a ball of fire last year, early in his freshman season. Percentage went down.
Wade. 2 to shoot, Brown. McNeese fighting for it with Wayne. Tie up.
Here's Dean Wade again. They move him all over the floor, and it's just a tough guard because he can drive you. And then there's Brady Manick,
who, as you alluded to, unlike Trae Young, did not get an offer from KU and other schools.
No, he did not. He did not.
Calixte off the back rim. Doolittle kept that alive with his hustle, and Manick's 3 well off the left side. Lead is 5 for K-State. They have never trailed tonight. Wide open from the corner, Stokes. Doolittle surveys, hesitates, starts the drive, lost it underneath. Manick saved it, but threw it to Sneed. He's got Wade coming down, and now we'll slow it up for Barry Brown, who elects to shoot a 3. Wow. Feeling it tonight, Barry Brown Jr.
I mean, now you're just dancing on him. That's a playground move right there.
James trying to answer his foul, shooting a 3 by Barry Brown.
You know, he's really been a good driver of late, but here, that's just too much space from Christian James. And that's what they call a buddy shot. Defender coming right at him. And he is talented. I mean, what a run he had through the tournament last year. Of course, Kansas State playing without Dean Wade in that NCAA tournament run they had. And Barry Brown, known for his defense, has become a very accomplished scorer.
We're checking the monitor to see if it was indeed a three-point attempt. It will be 3 free throws, and it will be indeed 3 shots coming after the foul committed by Brown.
We were talking about Dean Wade not getting an offer from KU. He looked up to, and here's his shot. He's clearly behind the three-point line. Dean Wade looked up to Ron Baker when he was in high school. Ron Baker, who ended up at Wichita State, played for the Knicks, or plays for the Knicks now. Ron Baker's from Western Kansas, like Dean Wade, and you know, Baker didn't get a whole lot of interest from KU, ended up at Wichita State, and then Dean Wade, who probably wouldn't have gone there anyway, got a little bit of interest from Kansas, but ends up at Kansas State. Said it was the best fit for him.
Yeah, he was the Gatorade Kansas High School Player of the Year coming out of St. John High School. And he is just, his personality, he's a relatively quiet guy. I mean, the vocal leader is no question Barry Brown. But when it comes to the skill set, Dean Wade has all the measurables.
Well, and he fits the prototype at that size for the league. I mean, he's gonna play in the NBA. He's gonna make money playing this game. And he can put it on the floor. He's a good rebounder, can hit a face-up shot.
And a guy for the first couple of years in the Big 12, his coaches implored him to shoot more. And he's going to put it up. And that's why he should shoot as much as he can. When it's open, he drains it, and it's a 9-point lead again for K-State. 15 for Wade, who's on the doorstep of passing Mitch Richmond and scoring at K-State. Manick is having a better second half for OU. Wade screen, a Brown 2. You can't give him any space tonight.
That's a nice little 1-2 combo.
13 for Brown. Tied up.
And there's Wade and Brown converging on that play right there on the defensive side. This dude, Dean Wade, man, he is back, and he is aggressive here tonight. Shows you his ability to hit a face-up shot. 6'10", he's the new age big guy. Buckets!
Well, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Can Kansas do it for a 15th consecutive year? They shared with Texas back in 08. Won it outright in 9, 10, 11, and 12. They shared with K-State in 2012-13 and have been sole possession of first each of the last 5 seasons. K-State fans remember that 2012-13 season. Well, they lost to Oklahoma State the last regular season game. Had they won that, K-State would have won the conference outright that year. They went 17-1 at home. Their only home loss was to Kansas that season. And right now, Kansas half game behind Texas Tech. Texas Tech next plays at Baylor on Saturday. So I'm going to put you on the spot.
Oh, really?
What do you think right now? Only 4 to 5 games in.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm a fool, so I'll probably, I'm going to say Texas Tech. I think they're the best team right now. I think they have the ability to be the most consistent as we move forward. And part of that is not having Doka Azubuike. I think that's a significant loss. I mean, they are much better with him, or were much better with him in their lineup. So I think this is the year. I think Texas Tech gets it done.
Stokes got it. How about, man, they're shooting the ball well tonight.
You know, offensively, it just shows you what one guy, the impact he can have on everybody else.
Well, the winner of this game tonight is going to be 3-2 in conference play. And K-State was picked in the coaches poll preseason in the Big 12 to finish second behind Kansas. Rashard Odoms, who had a nice first half, picking up where he left off here in the second half.
Well, you know, Kansas State is one of those teams, if you're into the stock market, where you would buy now. I mean, there's no question they are going to continue to get better. And they're, you know, it'll be interesting to see how they evolve. I mean, Texas Tech, to me, first of all, the coaches in this league are outstanding. There's no secret that Texas Tech has had a resurgence because of Chris Beard. I think he's one of the top 5 coaches in the country. I think Jared Culver may be the best. You could argue Dedrick Lawson, but one of those two guys is the best player in the Big 12, and they really get after you on the defensive end.
Well, this certainly isn't the first year the folks have had questions about Kansas repeating as regular season champion. Hall of Fame head coach Bill Self always seems to pull something out of a bag of tricks. A hold and a foul. Texas Tech, I mentioned, plays Saturday at Baylor, but they're home tonight against Iowa State on ESPNU.
Well, that's why games like that or games like this are huge. I mean, half the league is 2-2. And teams have had a hard time winning at home. Last Saturday, the league was 1-4 at home. So if you're K-State, 2 teams here that are 2-2, to get a win on the road would be huge.
Stockard had it knocked out of his hands, but right to Snead. K-State somehow keeping possession, but the shot clock winding down and they throw it away. But even though they threw it away there, they somehow kept that alive much longer than it looked like they were going to be able to.
Oh, and it's a dead ball turnover, so they get to set their defense, which has been outstanding in the half court tonight.
James. Stockard backed off, so James elected to shoot, and Odoms there with the putback. Odoms has had a real nice night for Oklahoma coming off the bench.
Ooh, got him.
Bieniemy the steal. Gives it up. Odoms stripped by Jada. Offensive foul on the Sooners.
That's a big-time play by Snead. I couldn't tell from here whether or not he was in the restricted arc, but John Higgins making that call. And he's not. That's a really good call by John Higgins. And boy, I'll tell you what, that is an anticipatory step in right there. And just, you know, Bieniemy, you got to attack. You had it one-on-one. Trying to make a play behind you there is not the right play in transition.
7 minutes gone here in the second half. A 7-point lead for K-State. And Barry Brown extends that with a long 2.
You know, Daryl Morey with the Houston Rockets is having an aneurysm now with the 2-point mid-range shots that Barry Brown is living on tonight. But my goodness, he's had about 4 of those off the bounce.
So you're referring to the analytics where he should step back a little bit and shoot a 3.
Guys like that, they hate those long 2s. It's either 3s or layups, and Brown is living in the mid-range tonight.
Barry Brown once again, there's another one. Got it! He is smoking hot tonight, Barry Brown Jr. Bieniemy for a Freeman 3. Skying for the rebound, James won't fall. Snead clears for K-State. Here comes Brown. What's he going to do this time? In and out. Foul underneath on Oklahoma.
Shooting percentages typically go down when you put the ball on the floor. Barry Brown is flouting that convention here tonight. 1 dribble, 2 dribble, pull up, tough shots. It is wet.
Look forward to that. Thanks so much, Chris. No carnival barking like halftime. Kind of disappointed in that. Mayween shooting over McNeese.
He's had a good night too. I mean, anytime they've thrown it to him down there, he's gotten a good shot off. And it starts with McNeese just playing behind, allowing him to catch it easy.
Tie-up possession arrow will keep it with Kansas State. Pardon me, with Oklahoma, that is. Reynolds sealed off in the lane, and open three from Bieniemy.
Oklahoma searching for offense. Bieniemy's made an impact since he's come in, and now he's on the ball.
McGurl fires a three. It's short. Rebounded off the floor by Odoms, who will slow it down in the front court for the Sooners. Doolittle from 12.
He's been on such a tear scoring the ball. You'd love to see him get something going here in the last 10 minutes if you're Oklahoma.
Sooners back within 8. We're near the midway point of this second half. Gianna collides with Bieniemy. Deep three. Stokes. Offensive board. Gianna had it stripped by McNeese. On the run. Reynolds feeds Odoms. Jump stop in the lane. And he's fouled and will shoot two. Hey, tip off your weekend with our next NBA Friday doubleheader at 8 Eastern. It's Spurs T-Wolves, and then we'll take you to Staples Center for the Clippers hosting Steph, KD, and the Warriors. And our coverage begins with NBA Countdown at 7 on ESPN and the ESPN app.
The Wolves starting to play better. It's been an odd year for them.
We do have a Larry Legend number sighting with the Celtics. What's up with Boston?
Yeah, it's not been a good scene. That Eastern Conference. There, she could be a Bird fan in the audience. There could also be a Brady Manick fan.
Odoms misses both. Mayween had a step on McNeese, who then grabbed and fouled. Picks up his third.
That's his third and the team's fifth.
McNeese will try to really come back from that ankle sprain. Not 100% by any stretch. Brown from the corner. Oh my goodness.
I mean, it's pretty simple. If you're Oklahoma, a big part of getting stops down the stretch here is you have to be able to guard Barry Brown and or Dean Wade. I mean, those guys are killing Oklahoma.
Odoms in a crowd gave it up for McNeese, who's fouled by Mayween. Well, with this bucket, Barry Brown passes Cartier Martin for 8th place in the all-time scoring list at K-State.
It's not well defended. I mean, you go under the screen. There's no help jumping out on a guy who is killing you. He's wide open on that shot.
You see Wade and Brown have combined for 35 of the 54. And now Oklahoma scuffling from the line. They haven't really shot well from there all night. 4-12. Another empty possession for OU.
They are 4 of 13 from the foul line. Turnovers and missed free throws, killing Oklahoma.
Dean Wade in the corner, out of bounds. And that's going to stay with K-State. Well, I jumped the gun just a bit with Barry Brown. He's actually tied with Cartier Martin at 1,546 career points. I got a feeling by the end of the night, though, he'll be solidly alone in 8th place on the all-time scoring list for the Cats. Out of bounds, and again remaining with Kansas State. 20 points for Barry Brown, 9 of 13 from the field. He's hit 2 of his 3 three-point shots. Yeah, he's the reigning Big 12 Player of the Week. Off the right side, a tip. Loose ball, Mayween. And right now, really it's been all night. Kansas State has just been a little step ahead of Oklahoma.
They have. They've been the more physical team. They've been first to the ball.
A 13-point lead equals their largest of the night. Not much going on in this possession so far for the Sooners. Shot clock's down to 6.
And a lot of standing.
Odoms, 2-1 off the glass, and they do get the points just as the shot clock is expiring. 13 points for Odoms. That's a season high for him.
He's had a nice night, and it's really come just driving the basketball. I mean, not much going on in that possession. He just straight line drives it.
Stokes. Mayween on Doolittle with a grab by Doolittle. 20 points tonight for Barry Brown.
Barry Brown, they're calling him the GOAT now. Hello, GOATs. Check those sneakers, Barry. You never know what's on those things coming out of a goat pen. Who knows?
Hey, get your cardio in early Saturday, then hit the recliner for a great day. Begins at 3:30 Eastern on ABC with the Thunder Sixers. Then how about Virginia and Duke?
It's a big-time game right there.
And then you got the Fight Night main event wrapping it up with Henry Cejudo taking on TJ Dillashaw from Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Big Saturday ahead.
For that Virginia team, we all know about Ty Jerome and Kyle Guy and DeAndre Hunter. I'm telling you right now, if you haven't seen Kihei Clark, he is the next big thing at Virginia. What a revelation he's been. Undersized, but a huge heart. Outstanding player.
Cam Stokes playing without a shoe, playing defense. An offensive rebound there by Mayween, and they'll stop play. So Stokes can get his shoe put back on. You said Michigan's the best team for quite a while.
Back in November, I saw them up at the Mohegan Sun in that tournament, and I just think to me, they're the best combination of a team that will guard you and then can score. And they can score in a lot of different ways. The one knock people have said is that they're not that deep. But to me, older teams don't have to be deep because they're going to stay out of foul trouble. They're going to be smart about things like that. And as long as they stay healthy, I think they're the best team. The other thing with Virginia is it's not just winning games. They are pounding teams. I mean, absolutely pounding teams.
And you see the field goal percentage for this game, which K-State has shot it even better here in the second half. And with 7 minutes to go, Chris, as well as K-State has played, I almost feel like they should be up by more than 11.
Well, that's what low possession games, what will happen, where you feel like a team is really putting it on another one, and the differential's not that much. But they're shooting almost 50% in this game against one of the nation's best defensive teams in Oklahoma.
Well, the Jada 3 has given them their largest lead of the night of 14 points. Calixte, quick hands from Stokes, loose ball picked up by Jada. Outlet comes to Snead. He's got Brown with him, and Barry Brown with that bucket has officially moved in front of Cartier Martin for 8th on the all-time scoring list of K-State. Timeout, Oklahoma. Barry Brown has played well against Oklahoma in his career. Tonight, no exception. He's got 22 to this point. Timeout with 6:26 to go. This Saturday, we have another big SEC-ACC doubleheader on ESPN. It starts at 4 Eastern, number 12 Kentucky and number 14 Auburn. Then Zion Williamson and number 1 Duke taking on number 4 Virginia.
Williamson explodes to the ball. And you know how that goes. Zion Williamson.
He just never stops.
I bet that rim is going anybody but Zion. You cannot leave Zion Williamson open at the rim.
Come on, Scottie Pippen. We don't need to lose Zion Williamson right now.
Scottie Pippen. Come on, Scottie.
Odoms scoring off the glass.
He's been the one consistent offensive scorer for Oklahoma tonight. It has been a real struggle finding somebody else to put the ball in the basket.
Snead, a wide open 3. Nails it.
A 3-point basket by Snead.
K-State fans have to be thinking, is this the same team that got run out by 20 in their own building by Texas to start conference? Lost to Texas Tech. We're down by 21 to West Virginia and staring 0-3 and maybe an 0-4 conference start right in the face.
It's amazing what adding one guy will do. It's like your big brother showing up at the park. You just, you put your chest out a little bit more. You feel more confident about yourself. And Dean Wade's back, and this team is different.
And Cartier Jada giving up his body, fighting 2 Sooners for that loose ball.
And they've been the first to the floor, first to loose balls. They've been a step ahead all night. In this, they were 0-2 in the Big 12. And at the beginning of last week, before their game against West Virginia, Bruce Weber drew up on the board, be the best team in the Big 12 this week. And they went out, they won 2 games at the buzzer, which puts them at 2-2. And now they get Wade back. Stokes is starting to get healthy, and Barry Brown is playing at another level.
And they haven't missed a free throw tonight, 6 of 6 as Jada hits both. Well, free throws have been an issue for the Sooners tonight, just 4 of 13. Doolittle spinning on Wade. Foul on Dean Wade.
Kansas State fouls on Dean Wade.
Wade tonight,
That's his third, and the
15
team's
points in 21 minutes.
Doolittle for the Sooners will have
And
2
3
shots.
steals as well. Wow. And the free throw line tonight for the Sooners has been a big bugaboo. So he splits the pair 1 and 2. A 16-point deficit go for the Sooners as we slip under the 5-minute mark. Jada loses it, saves it on the sideline. Dean Wade has just passed Mitch Richmond, one of the all-time greats of the Wildcats, for 11th place on the all-time scoring list for K-State. Stokes, a strip, but a foul called in the process.
The Kansas State foul is called.
This is the action that other Big 12 coaches are watching and scratching their heads. It's that pick and pop. It's really hard to guard because that guard coming off can drive it. But if you don't switch that, I mean, that's really the only way to guard it. You have to switch it. You have to talk the switch because he's just going to pop and stick it in your face.
Mitch Richmond, one of the all-time greats for Kansas State. When you pass Mitch Richmond, you've done something right.
Yes, you have.
Doolittle. Loose ball picked up by Stokes. Now keep in mind, Mitch only plays a couple of years. I mean, that guy can score.
Yes.
As can Dean Wade. Not quite at the proficiency of the gentleman he just passed, but
Mitch Richmond now an assistant at St. John's with his former Golden State Warriors teammate, Chris Mullen, who's teams. They have a very good team this year.
Well, Mitch Richmond was on the K-State team that lost in the Elite Eight to go to the Final Four to Kansas. And their head coach was Lon Kruger.
Kansas State should have won it.
Kansas won that and went on and was the surprise winner of the national championship, beating a great Oklahoma team in Kansas City in 1988. Danny Manning had a lot to do with that.
Yes, he did. Well, you don't think his miracles contributed?
Contributed some, yes.
Some credit to the miracles.
Fine pass, Odoms finds Christian James. Still 17-point lead.
This has been methodical. I mean, it's been a methodical takedown by Kansas State. They've been very patient offensively, and they've made Oklahoma work offensively.
Wade left it short that time. This is, again, there's still over 3 minutes to play here, Chris. A little contact, a late whistle, but the foul on Snead is going to be 3 free throws. Coming up for James when we come back to Norman.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball.
Hey, good day there, Chris. Had to drop a little Aussie accent on you.
Good day?
Yeah.
Put another shrimp on the bog.
If Connor can be a carnival barker, I could try my Aussie accent.
Ludicrous fan, and you have an Australian accent. I'm learning a lot, Mark.
They learned that SportsCenter tonight follows Pelicans Warriors, and after the buzzer was Stan and Neal from LA. They'll take a look at the biggest concerns inside the NFC and AFC championship games. Also, Harden's historic case for MVP, and Rachel Nichols' exclusive interview with Boogie Cousins ahead of his long-awaited return on Friday. SportsCenter tonight, 1 a.m. Eastern.
I'm always in for an exclusive with Boogie Cousins.
Yes. SportsCenter tonight. Boy, Oklahoma 7 of 18 from the line. For K-State, Chris, as they turn it over, Bieniemy with the steal. Wade. Snead. They called a foul on Snead. I was just about to say, though, how really crisp a game from beginning to near the end here that K-State has played tonight.
Yeah, it's been methodical. I mean, there's been a precision to what they've done tonight, and they've executed offensively. Again, having Wade back, you now have that other weapon within that offense, but they've come out with energy. And then I think on the other end, part of it is Oklahoma all year has struggled to score. Christian James has not played well of late. But they've made Oklahoma work, and tough shots, even shots around the rim, have been tough to come by.
Well, Kansas State had lost 6 consecutive true road games dating back to last year when they went to Ames over the weekend. One there, they're about to win 2 in a row. They hang on here over the last 2.5 minutes. And now they're up 13. Snead underneath, and Wade to stuff. I'm sure his foot is not 100%. It may not be all year, but Dean Wade is back.
He is back, yes. He is back, and the duo of Brown and Wade, the law firm is back. 42 of their 69 points tonight coming from those two guys.
Clock winding down. 4. James in a crowd is fouled.
These have been billable hours tonight from the law firm of Brown and Wade. Getting into shape, getting back to game speed, figuring out where your shots are coming from, I mean, all that stuff. You can't just manufacture good play when you've been out.
And talking with Coach Weber today, it seemed like the recovery of Wade happened at a quick pace last week. It kind of came to a point where it was like, hey, I think I'm ready. They got him on the court with practice, and boom, he was playing in Ames. Brown works his way down the lane, reverses, couldn't get that pretty move with the finish to go. James fouled by Wade and one.
The Kansas City foul is called on Key Wade. That is his
Remember Saturday, another big SEC, ACC doubleheader on ESPN. It starts at 4 Eastern, number 12 Kentucky, number 14 Auburn. Then Zion Williamson, number 1 Duke, looking to bounce back from that loss on Monday to Syracuse as they host number 4 and unbeaten Virginia at Cameron Indoor, and a Sonic blockbuster that you can also always watch on the ESPN app. Wade comes out, but what a night for him.
He is, I mean, it's fun to watch him play too, because you can never really speed him up. I mean, that's the other thing about a guy coming off an injury, is sometimes they're a little quick. He's been in control tonight.
He fouls out of a game for the second time this year. Christian James has scored the last 11 points for OU in that 11-2 run for the Sooners. And they're down 10, but just over a minute to go.
One minute remaining.
Brown.
Why not?
It has been his night. He came in averaging 17 points per game against the Sooners. He's obliterated that tonight with a 25-point game. Don't forget, we're going to send you to Melbourne coming up next, the Australian Open. But Kansas State is going to improve to 3-2 in conference, 13-4 overall, and the Sooners are going to drop to 13-4 overall and 2-3 in conference and lose at home for the first time this year.
Shot clock violation.
This will be the first home loss for the Sooners since February 17th of last year against Texas. They had won 7 in a row here to begin this year.
The substitutions and returning for the Sooners is Reynolds.
And the Sooners,
he replaces Oakland,
are at Texas on Saturday. And Kansas State will be home against TCU after 2 consecutive road wins for the Wildcats. 74-61. K-State led throughout. And an impressive win for Bruce Weber's Cats tonight.
We were talking about the balance of power in the Big 12. Kansas State, a loud statement tonight, Mark.
They win at 74-61. For Chris Patola and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Mark Neely. So long from Norman. Now let's send you to Melbourne Park for the second round coverage of the Australian Open.